If you are going to go out and buy a microphone, and you go to the microphone store, right? On the boxes of good microphones are going to be a bunch of measurements and numbers, and we're going to walk through what all those different things mean. At a base minimum, a good microphone will tell you all of this stuff. It may tell you a bunch of other stuff too, but this is definitely the main stuff to look out for. 1, frequency response, just the measure of any system's spectrum response at the output to a signal of varying frequency. Long story short, what frequencies is it going to be able to capture? What can it hear? 80 to 18,000 hertz, that's pretty good. We're not going to get all of that super low sub rumble with this, but we're going to get all of the clarity and sibilance that is so important for understanding speech, right? Impedance. Basically, this is only an issue if you have a very long cable run, and this is talking about how much it can maintain your signal over a long distance. Not usually an issue when we're recording on location for games, but something to be mindful of. That's what this is referring to. Max SPL input level or sound pressure level. This is the maximum loudness that any sound can be, and this microphone can accurately capture it. This is not saying that it's going to break if it hears something louder than this, but this is saying, hey, something can be this loud and I can accurately capture it. I'm not going to distort. Then we have signal to noise ratio. There's always inherent noise in our signal. No matter how quiet the room is, there's just always inherently electrical noise in what we record. It can become more apparent that there is that electrical noise when, say, we have a recording that we got and it's something that's very quiet, and then we turn it up really loud so that we can get the audio that we wanted to use to a loud enough volume for us to be able to use it. At the same time, when we're turning it so loud, we're also making all of that inherent electrical noise, or what's called the noise floor, louder as well. And sometimes it can be so loud that it can be really audible and sound like a really, really terrible bad recording. That's why we try and record things relatively loudly, right? We don't want to record them too loud because then we risk clipping, but we also don't want to record everything too quietly because then when we turn them up to a level that we can actually use them, we hear this noise floor, right? The signal to noise ratio is basically how loud that noise floor is. Then we have dynamic range, which is essentially what's the range of loud things that you can accurately capture with this, right? So a greater dynamic range means that it can accurately capture things that are louder and softer. If you have something that's going to be swinging wildly in terms of its loudness, then a dynamic range is really important. Or if you're going to be using it for things that are varying degrees of loud, it's very important. If you're buying a microphone for the pure purpose of recording, cars smashing into each other and gunshots, then dynamic range really isn't quite as important because it's not about nuance here. Probably care much more about the max SPL level.